Hello, I'm Pasco. I'm director at Norwich Arts Centre, and I'm afraid I'm responsible for asking Will to come and exhibit some of his work with us here at Norwich Arts Centre. I do take my responsibilities quite seriously, and so I apologise profusely for anybody that doesn't get the genius that is Will Teather.
The Infinite Perspectives project is something that I kind of originally started thinking about it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I had the idea that it would be nice to do some paintings that reflected something close to the way we really see. And it came partly out of teaching life drawing and looking at the way that when you actually scan a space, the perspective changes. And it also was about kind of trying to create impossible viewpoints, really. This project is called Infinite Perspectives because of the shifting viewpoints within the work. And the perspective essentially is constantly shifting across each image. The idea is that it's as if you stood at a certain point, but your eyes rotating across that space. And as that happens, the perspective is constantly changing. And these images are meant to reflect something of that within the way that they're made. This is P. Mills Antiques and Curios on Elm Hill. I often use the shops and buildings within Norwich as an inspiration for the paintings, and particularly the kind of curiosity shops which the city is full of. This one is meant to feel like a sort of time capsule, so it's everything within a certain space sealed within this sort of globe, and it's as if you stood in the centre of this space looking around it. I think the Curiosity Shop is a bit of a time capsule, and adding these musicians, which are all kind of our age, it seemed like a way of sort of sealing it in a certain kind of time point. There's already something there, so the idea is to paint a historical scene of that space within the space. This painting is called Flock, and it was the original piece of work that set this set of paintings going. I had this idea that I wanted to paint an impossible viewpoint where it felt like you were immersed in a flock of birds, and as you look up you can see them flying above you, and as you look down you can see them flying below you. And this one is on the inside of a hemisphere. And originally I'd kind of had the idea of perhaps doing a giant dome that you walked into that had a sort of door on it that you opened up and you walked into this flock of birds. But at the moment this seems like quite a kind of nice sort of resolution for the piece. It's sort of it's almost like a painting that kind of pops out of the wall. That's the idea. So it's sort of jumping out at you. It's in the photo.
Was that for sale at the art? Oh, haven't get it.
This is a sort of topsy-turvy view of the Guntons building at Norwich University Arts. I chose it because I wanted something that was very geometric, which almost had a semi-abstract element and was more to do with the sort of formal considerations of the perspective and how it kind of shifts around the space, and something where there wasn't an obvious upright to it, so it sort of has a slight sort of homage to Escher within it, and that's the kind of general idea of it. And I finished painting it yesterday whilst it was hanging in the space, which is not untypical of me. But also, actually, you sort of need to see it spinning to understand exactly how it works, so it's quite useful to work on them once they're up.
I think there's something very special going on. I mean, I'm part of that young British artists, mid-90s Brit-pop generation that got into visual art. And painting for quite a long time was being decried by my scene. By my scene. We were responsible for saying, death to painting. And here I am now, approaching 50. Well, I love a nice bit of painting. Will's bringing something particular, unique. I've never seen work like this. I think it's as much conceptual art as it is painting.